I was in the crying section. That's where they put me.
There you go.
An all-new episode of The Mitch, Lafon, and Jeremy White Show.
Tuesday at noon.
Available wherever you stream.
I just want to ask you, Charlie, something outside of this project. At the end of last year, you went to see Genesis.
Yes.
And I am in my Genesis mode. I've got live CDs. I mean,
You just quickly everything.
Everything. And I've been playing Genesis in my phone for the last 2 months. And of course, you can't complain that they've sold 300 million albums. If you ask Genesis, Phil Collins, and Peter Gabriel solo, I mean, what a staggering. Right? I mean, it's staggering. Just quickly talk to me, because you put out a message on Twitter that got picked up, and believe it or not, in all the Genesis news groups, they're talking, the drummer of Anthrax loves Phil Collins. He loves. They're just, what did that mean to you to see that show? And how do you sort of rate or talk about Phil Collins? I mean, he's just a monster drummer, and we don't really think about that.
So this was in November.
Yeah.
And I talked about it because it was the first time, and God, I couldn't even tell you that I ever actually cried at a show, and I'm not kidding about it, and I'm not embarrassed to say it, but
Wow.
Some of the songs when they started playing them, and seeing Phil up there who was sitting, he wasn't standing, he wasn't behind the drums either. It just got to me, and there were two songs that it got to me and I was like, man, this is weird for me, because my girlfriend Carla was looking at me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm not." That's the thing. I couldn't control it. It was like something happened. It triggered something. And in the beginning of the show, when they came walking out and Phil could barely walk, and then he just sat, and I thought to myself, why are they doing this? Why? You know what I mean? Then it kicked in, and it started out a little rough, but then by the third song, boom.
Yeah, by Land of Confusion, you're in.
It was like killer, and his son Nicholas was playing drums, and he played just like his dad. I think that was the other thing that got me too. That was very emotional. But by the time they played the song Carpet Crawlers,
man,
I started crying again, because it just brought me back. And it's like one of my favorite songs. And it's, of course, Peter Gabriel. It's a Peter Gabriel song with them. And I don't know, man. So I'm so happy that I went, and I wanted to go again. But, of course, they were gone at this point in another state. So I wish I had gone the night before.
Yeah. And let me just ask you that, because I see on your social media and over the years, you've posted pictures of you and your daughter, and you've got that bond. And then you see Phil with his son. That sort of got, I mean, it hits home, right? I mean, that bond.
That's why.
Yeah. So what did you think of Nick? Because a lot of people go, well, he got the job because of his dad. But then he plays, and you go, maybe, but he's also got the fucking talent.
The dude can wail.
He did a tour with his dad when his dad did a solo tour.
The Not Dead Yet tour, which I saw.
And
with
I've
Leland
seen clips
Sklar.
of that, and he was great in that. So the Genesis stuff is a little more challenging.
Mm-hmm. It's a step up,
and it's definitely a step up. And I was so happy that he had the drums the way his dad had the drums. They were concert toms. It was the sound, it was the feel, it was the look, and he just played the shit out of those songs. And you could even see the other guys kind of turning around, enjoying it too.
Yeah.
So Nick Collins to me was like great. I hope they continue, because I would love to see them again.
And it was so good because, he had the triggers on the toms. All of a sudden, it sounds like Simmons, and it's just so good,
Yeah. And you know what? They are going to do a few more shows in Europe next year, because they had some postponed, and then that's supposed to be it. If we can, I would love to travel and go see that, because it has to be seen one last time. It's just, and you go, well, he's sitting down. It's like, no, doesn't matter.
And Charlie, you said something interesting. You said that, I sat there, I'm wondering, why are they doing this? Well, that's exactly why they're doing it, to give you those experiences, and
Right, but it was the beginning of it that I didn't know what to expect, okay?
Right.
Because I had seen footage online when they did some shows in England,
Right.
and I was kind of skeptical, like what. Well, I don't know how this is going to play out, So when it first started, I was a little shaky, and then, like I said, by the third song, it was like bam, and everything just kicked in, and it was like Genesis, because I saw them in 2007.
Right. Great show.
And that was great too.
Yeah, see, that's what I got. I got a whole collection of 2007 shows here. But yeah, and I'll just say, I've seen fans say the same thing. Why are they doing this? And I think it really is just to say goodbye, because they don't have to. They've got the money. It's not like they need to buy another house. They've got it all. And I think they just wanted to reach out to the fans and say, thank you.
It's a celebration of the band and the music.
Yeah, and people bitching about him sitting. I mean, come on. No other band does this. No, they didn't have to do this. Just
and Mitch,
appreciate the
honest,
fact that they did.
Look, we went to see those shows. About 95% of the audience was at the age that they were sitting the whole time, too. So, I mean...
Good point. Me and Charlie are at that age where we just have to sit.
It's not a wall of death type of concert. Let's be honest here.
Oh, I was in the crying section. That's where they put me.
But listen, I agree that the last couple of times I've seen Phil on the solo show and stuff, you cry because it's just like you remember what he was like on the No Jacket Required tour and the running around and on the Invisible Touch tour, and you see this guy and you just go, dang.
So that was the first song that I kind of broke into tears when they did I Know What I Like. Because usually back in the day, Phil would do this dance, the tambourine.
Yeah, with the tambourines, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he picked the tambourine up and just kind of did a little bit of it. And I was just like, he can't do that, and that was one of the reasons why it kind of hit me hard, And yeah, that song, and like I said, Carpet Crawlers, those two songs just kind of brought.
Yeah, Carpet Crawlers as the set ender is such a bitch slap, because it's just like, no, I don't want to go home crying. I want to go home happy, motherfucker. But I'll tell you where it gets me is when he stands up and slowly makes his way to the back of the drums just to watch his son. Mm. And that's just such a dad moment, and that to get back there, he's probably in a lot of pain just trying to get back. And he's just watching his son. And I've seen interviews where he says, I can't turn around to watch him, so I have to go. And that whole emotional... Anyway, I'm going to cry now.
That's cool. That's very cool. I mean, if you think about it, what you guys are talking about, I didn't see the show, but here you are. You're not sure what's going to happen. He's bent out of shape because of all his back pain and ailments and whatnot. And you don't know... And now you're saying you can't wait to see it again. You hope they come back. And the music, without him doing what he used to be able to do musically, still connected with you, and seeing him sing it and watching the band play and his son do the thing. There's a thing going on. It's called music and emotion and connection and nostalgia.
And that's missing. That's missing a lot these days. A lot of shows are so clean and so you just go and there's no emotion. It's just here are the 12 songs and Go ahead, Charlie.
There's an article that I read 2 days ago, and it was about music in general, that more than 70% of music that people listen to is old music. Yeah. And it's like 20-something% is new. And this is something that I've been saying for years, that new music isn't that good because people don't respect it and people don't take the time enough to create music. What they do is they take what this guy just did and maybe modify it a little bit, and they look like it, and they grow a big beard, and all of a sudden they got a band. And it lacks the one thing that you really need is a song. So, that's going back to the classic 78 stuff, is like, those are songs. There's songs on that record that you would probably listen to over and over again and love. And that's why Genesis resonated with me. I mean, just going back to Genesis for one quick second, is there another band in the history of music that the singer leaves and then the drummer comes in and sings and sounds almost exactly like the guy who left?
Yeah.
I mean, those two guys sound so similar, and it was like, it didn't even skip a beat, and they got better. How the hell does that happen?
Yeah. And they got bigger. And then on top of that, Rutherford goes out and has Mike and the Mechanics and has top 10 hits. And
Right.
Peter Gabriel goes out and has So and has top 10 hits. And Phil Collins, I mean, Phil Collins is
Tarzan
probably
soundtrack.
bigger than Genesis at this point.
Yeah.
And then they still come back it's unbelievable. And what's really fun about that is that they didn't commingle. You didn't go to a Genesis show and get 5 Phil Collins songs when it would have been easy to throw In the Air Tonight or any. It's spectacular.
No. Tony Banks would not have allowed that.
No, but I mean, you think of the Police and Sting. You think of Gene and Paul solo. There's just what Genesis did is just unmatched. Period.
They influence a lot of bands. I always said this. I hear a lot of Rush in Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I'll unabashedly say I'm an 80s Genesis fan. Thank you very much.
I love those records. Those are my favorite records. That the first of all, the sound quality of those records. If you're an audiophile and you want to EQ your system, you put on certain Genesis records because the sound is awesome.
Yeah, you listen to the production on Invisible Touch. It's quintessential 80s, and it just sounds so well produced.
Gated snares. Come on. Gated snares. But, yeah.
Duke is my favorite album, though, by Genesis.
I used to be Invisible Touch, but the more I'm listening to it, I'm really getting into, and then there were 3, and I'm also getting into Abacab, even though people go, oh, you can't like Abacab. It's like, well, I kind of do.
I love Abacab. But Duke, for me, just has something. The song Duchess is just killer, and I was so happy they pulled that one out.
Right. Well, listen, Phantoms, Classic 78, available now. Tom, where can everybody go and buy this music?
You can go to Amazon worldwide, the iTunes store, not Apple Music, but the iTunes store worldwide, and you can buy the album as a digital download. We have CDs that are coming in a week or two. They'll be available for sale in February. We'll announce that. You'll be able to buy them the day it's announced. They won't be a pre-order or anything like that. And we're going to have vinyl on deck for later on in the year once things settle down with the industry, because vinyl backs up 6 to 8 months right now.
Yeah,
but we definitely want to do that.
Even if you guys don't tour and stuff, I mean, hey, there's always the KISS convention and all these places where all the fans kind of conclave together. I mean, that'd be a good little spot to go and sign some CDs, get some,
make some cash.
Make some cash. Get Keith LaRue to dish out to get you guys over there. Come on.
There'll probably be 1 or 2 scenarios where that'll probably come together for everybody, but we'll just play that by ear and see what comes.
All right. Well, Phantoms, Classic 78, available now. Go pick it up. Absolutely brilliant new project. Thanks a lot, guys. This was awesome. Great chat. We'll see you around.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Say hello to everybody in Canada. I miss my friends up in Canada.
You will be here soon. We will get you to another heavy Montreal or whatever soon, hopefully.
Yeah, and we'll have a Classic 78 listening party backstage.
All right.
That'd be great.
Oh, that would be awesome. In full makeup.
There you go.
Full regalia.
Cheers.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Have a good one.
An all-new episode of The Mitch, Lafon, and Jeremy White Show.
Tuesday at noon.
Available wherever you stream.